Welcome to the Tellor Dev Call. Yeah, we started and forgot to record, but now we're recording. What are we off to? Doing a deep dive today at 2 with UMA. Watch out for that. The last one was, what was the last one I did with? Oh, reality.eth. That one was super good. Or no, I did the Uniswap one last week.
Yeah.
The Uniswap one was also really good. We go over like how to attack Uniswap oracles for like a half hour. So if you guys want to do that, it was a fun one. And then the big thing, so we're kind of heads down in testing with Diva. So Diva protocol is a prediction market on Polygon. I'm doing an AMA with them. I think Owen and Tim, you guys are welcome to talk. It's just going to be, it'll be fun. I think that's Wednesday. It's like 6 p.m. Central European time. So I have to figure out what time that actually is our time. But yeah, we'll try and push that out, but that one's looking really promising. I think that one's September launch for them, right, Owen? Tim?
Mid-September? I think they're planning on like a month.
Yeah, like a month from now. So we have still a lot of testing to do, but it's good. And then in other testing, we've been making some updates. The auditor is giving us feedback. Tim's been doing a great job. If you guys want to, if you're actually curious in what changes they found, you can go look. There's like a draft pull request open. Tim just makes the changes as they come through. But so far, so good. It's looking good. I think some of the tweaks, yeah, he's found some good stuff, not super serious, but good stuff. So, yeah, and then we also have, yeah, I guess I'll just talk to you guys as we go about it. But Owen, how's things going?
Yeah, it's going well. With the Diva stuff, it's good. We switched over like the data specs and the Python side to support the new query type, and submitted, decoded those values, and they're all good. We just basically need to work with Diva to deploy new contract versions to account for those changes. And then let's see, today I'm going to be working on releasing, Friday released a new version of Telliot core, and it had a bunch of changes in it, a bunch of bug fixes. And today, hopefully I'll get a version released for Telliot feeds. It's going to require a little bit more just because on Friday I was looking and I don't think I could find the passwords, because I think Mike made those.
What?
The passwords for the Python package index, like our host, you know. So I might just like make a new, I mean, it might make sense to just make a new account anyway. But eventually we should find that for Telliot core, because yeah, anyway. So that's kind of what I'm doing today. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, email Brenda. She's the one who keeps all that. But
yeah, I took a brief gander in the Drive, Google Drive. But yeah.
Ryan, anything?
So I'm going to be working on getting the optimism feeds, not optimism, the Arbitrum feeds that Spuddy just started putting up for the data feed.
Mainnet Arbitrum?
I don't think so. Just testnet right now.
Okay, and because you had said that somebody's like waiting for us over on Mainnet Arbitrum.
Oh, Mike. Yeah, Mike reached out to a project who he mentioned a fallback Oracle tool, and so they're definitely open to that idea. I think they're just still waiting to get on mainnet themselves. So,
okay,
yeah,
yeah. Well, let us know whenever we should start reporting to Mainnet Arbitrum.
Okay, so we do have that capability now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just more. It's a little bit of work, but not much. So
right.
Yeah, we can start.
There's nothing outside of our control blocking it.
No.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, Optimism is the one that is currently.
Right.
You have to be approved for their bridge. So like
Right.
if you want to use TRV, we have to be approved, which is weird. And then for you, Ciro, the front end dev,
Yeah.
bounties, he asked for another one. His idea, he was working on the auto pay stuff, similar to fund a feed or the data feed project. So, we have like the feed that shows all the historical prices that are submitted on chain. He's going to do one for tips on the bottom of there.
Sweet.
So it'll just be a page that shows every time somebody tips, and it'll update with like the query ID and the amount. And
It's going to be a separate page, or that's going to be as part of the data feed page?
it's going to be just on like the bottom on the data feed page.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I was like, that's sweet. So he's expecting that to be like in a few weeks. So
Awesome.
you'll probably have some reviews there, but it should
Yeah.
be good. And then we can just start tipping and making sure it pops up. So, and it'll be a great way for us to monitor when people are tipping. So,
Absolutely.
all right. Tally.
Hey, yeah, I was working on adding support for converting the query data into sources for the disputable values monitor. And I think today I should do the tutorial, right? Or when you think we should do
The
that?
disputable values monitor.
No, for the hackathon. Or if someone else is doing that. Mike,
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. So,
Oh, okay. Remember I did the Harmony using Tellor
okay.
walkthrough. So doing a new walkthrough for ETH Global.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds good.
Something not Harmony specific.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's basically like a re-recording.
Okay, well, and then are you working on USDC and USDT for Algorand at some point?
Yeah.
I saw there were also some GitHub issues in that Algorand repo. Don't know if you want to. They look like quick fixes.
Yeah.
And then if you want to do the DYAD stuff too. So, did you see I added you to that repo for DYAD?
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're the project that wants to use us that's using Vyper. So you can use your Vyper UsingTellor package and implement us in there.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So and let me know if you need any help on that. Also, yeah. So for those of you that didn't know, Tally implemented Tellor in Vyper. So we're gonna be
Yeah, I'm kind of the new band tag.
so we'll be going into it's DYAD, they're a stable coin, so they need ETH price.
Yeah.
You'll see now, like right now they just have in their repo, it's a centralized oracle, so it's just like somebody updates the ETH price. So we would obviously just replace that with Tellor.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and they asked me how to do it, and they were like, "Do you have any Vyper examples?" And I was like, "Get right on it." So
Exactly.
yeah. Okay. Hey, Brenda.
Hey guys.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, so I'm currently working on a small task Owen gave me, fixing a little RNG bug. I think I made the fix, but I'm having issues running the tests. It's something to do with Ganache isn't running. So trying to fix that currently this morning. But the bigger things are working on the toxicity number for Stater. We have a toxicity calculation script for one lending market, but they really needed another one where their Matic X token is, market.xyz. But we're having trouble finding contract addresses for that protocol. So if anyone listening has any information on that, shoot it over to us. That would be helpful. And then, yeah, I'm just working on any fixes for the audit for 360. Haven't gotten any more of those this week yet, but I I found one little bug last week in doing another audit fix. So I'm also just kind of like going over 360 with fresh eyes after not testing it for a couple weeks, days, or whatever. So yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Good morning. Currently have 2 PRs that I'm working on. They're almost done actually. The custom contract flag. I deployed the contract for the sample recorder on Rinkeby and verified it, see if I need to use the ABI, because I have an ABI flag as well. See if it'll fetch it, and it does, so that works well. If the ABI is not, or the contract is not verified, then you can just input the ABI through the command line interface, and that works. So I reported on both Polygon and Rinkeby. Aside from that, there was an issue for where the feed was looping over and over the same feed, so I have a PR for that as well. The thing that I'm mainly working on now is the fetching the timestamps that need to be claimed. That's it.
Cool. Yeah, and I'm going to go over your sample recorder fail contract today too. Right.
Okay.
Got it, but great job. Spotty, anything?
Nick and I talked about it this morning, how we want to have nodes run.
Yeah,
So-
Spuddy's going to set some nodes up here at his house and in the office, and we're going to quit using Infura.
I'm gonna see if I can
So-
set up my
Yeah.
node in a way that I can share a PEM file and people can use it.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that, so I'm gonna have to learn how to do that.
If you set it up in the office, you can't use it outside of the office because if it's the internet, heads up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that because they don't have port forwarding?
Exactly. No port forwarding.
We would have to have access to the admin.
You'd have to ask the front desk people might be able to help, but I doubt it.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
They might just give us access.
Yeah.
yeah.
They don't know how it works.
Yeah, give the crypto guys access to the router.
We could probably just say, like, can you give us admin access? Like, it keeps going down. Like, we're happy to fix it ourselves.
Yeah.
So, sorry.
Please spell your social security number.
Cool. So yeah, so Spuddy's gonna set up some nodes, and we'll be good
We
there.
got, last week we did some stuff to the disputable values monitor that made it work a lot better, but I'm still getting one error that I'm gonna probably bring the issue back because
Cool.
it's still happening.
Nice. Yeah. Brenda, you need anything?
No, I'm trying to catch up, but thank you guys.
Yeah, and Ryan, any questions today?
We actually do have a couple regarding bridges from my Muyumos in the deep questions that we should probably address here. I guess, so he's like, I don't understand bridges and how Tellor would make them more secure, #bridge deep dive. And then he just followed up with like, perhaps bridges could be the Uniswap app. There's a lot of value locked in cross-chain bridges. So maybe it might be good to talk about how we would differ from the Uniswap approach and piggybacking off your last protocol deep dive.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, I don't know how Uniswap necessarily goes into bridges, but you know, the issue with bridges, so like, assuming you have two chains, those are, like, if you have Ethereum and Polygon, they don't talk to each other. So like, you know, or Ethereum and Bitcoin, Ethereum and Avalanche, like, you can't say like, oh, deposit TRB over onto Avalanche. You need somebody to pass that message over. So the way that almost all bridges work now is on Ethereum, you would take TRB and you would deposit into a smart contract.
Right.
Then somebody over on, say, Avalanche would say, hey, they deposited in the Avalanche bridge contract, mint them one A TRB or, you know, Avalanche TRB. And then it mints it. And now you trade this token as if it's an Avalanche TRB. And then whenever you want to go back onto mainnet Ethereum, you take that A TRB, send it back to the bridge contract. Somebody tells mainnet Ethereum, hey, you can unlock that TRB and give it to the person, whether it's the same person or a different person. The problem obviously there is, who is that person passing messages back and forth? That's an oracle. And the problem is that most bridges right now are just probably the Avalanche team or the Harmony team or whoever that second chain is. It's usually the team themselves and running a multi-sig, and they pass it back and forth. And, you know, like in the Harmony, it was, what was it, like a 3 of 5 multi-sig or something like that. And it just, they got hacked in a traditional Web 2 sense, lost the keys, funds got drained. Because whoever owns that can say, hey, he locked the funds, and then unlock all of this token. Obviously, the way that you could do it with Tellor would be to take away that multi-sig and say Tellor, who's on both of those chains, passes the proof of deposit back and forth. And then the reason that Tellor is secure is that you would say wait an hour or two, and then anybody can dispute it. So you would see, hey, now the bridge all of a sudden is sort of crypto economically secured. It's not subject to just some multi-sig risk. And that's what I think, that's why you would just want a better oracle. Obviously the downside, so if you're using Tellor, it's going to be a little slower. So if you have just one address or a multi-sig, it's crazy fast. With Tellor, it's not going to be as fast, which it shouldn't be, and that's okay. So that's where I think Tellor and other decentralized oracles are really going to play a role in bridging. So, all right. Oh, and you liked that explanation. That was good. What was the other question, Ryan? Was there something else in there?
No, it was, he seemed to be bringing up Uniswap as a possible solution. So I just wanted to see if you have any comment on that.
Maybe his idea there is that you would swap tokens.
Yeah, so I mean,
across chains somehow.
You can have token swaps across chain, but it's still the same problem of how do they talk. So, you know, you can, I think a Uniswap or an exchange, like that's one way that the better practice for people to do it is like, so in our example, you had TRB and it was being deposited on another chain and becoming this ATRB, for instance. That's sort of risky in the sense that you're creating this giant pile of TRB.
Yeah.
That's a honeypot.
Yeah.
The safer way would be to trade ETH, a native token here, or Avalanche, a native token there. So you just would pass like a trade order over, and then after the trade's done, there's no honeypots. It's done. You know, there's not these giant funds sitting there waiting to be hacked. So you want to minimize the amount of value that's sort of subject to being hacked, because if you have $500 million in a pod or something like that, and it's being secured by even Tellor, like if there was a pot with $1 billion in it, like Tellor's not, it's a poor option just because there's a lot of attack surfaces that open up even on Tellor of just griefing attacks or just complete reorgs of the blockchain, where you could beat Tellor or any centralized oracle. So yeah, really, you want to lessen that. And if you have an exchange or something, or just minimize the value, pass over, you know, proofs of ownership or something like that, it works. So cool. Anything else?
That's it.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, everyone. We shall talk to you guys next week. Later.